welcome to Official Mathematics channel. In this episode, we are going to look at factorization involving completing the square. Without further ado, let's look at the following examples.
Alright, let's get started now. So today we're going to learn on factorization which involves completing the square. Alright, so any form that can be written as a bracket x plus b square plus c. We call it as completing the square, this form. Alright, so let's look at the first question here. How do we factorize x squared plus 4x plus 1? Alright, so before we start to factorize, we must make sure the coefficient of x squared must be always equals to positive 1. Okay, so in this case, it is already in positive 1, this form, right? So hence, we can start to use our formula for completing the square. Alright, so we can put it as bracket, then the square is outside here. Okay, then this x we just follow, just copy x, plus followed by plus. Alright, so this is the crucial part. The positive 4 here, we must always divide it by 2, okay? So for the middle part, right? So 4 over 2 is equals to 2, right? Then after square, must be always followed by negative here, okay? Then 2 square, you have 4, right? Then lastly, we just copy plus 1 at the back, right? So next, we can simplify the expression, right? So we'll get x plus 2 square, negative 4 plus 1 is negative 3, right? So hence you get this as your final answer, okay? So, and if the question asks us to find the value of a, b and c, so actually we can find it very easily. So a, b and c, we can compare with the general form of completing the square, okay? Ax plus b square plus c, alright? So here the a will be 1, right? And then the b, right, is here, this part is 2. And then lastly, the c actually is equivalent to negative 3, alright? So this is our final answer, okay? So next example, number 2 here. What if we have x squared minus 6x plus 4? Okay, so first of all, same thing as the first question just now. So we need to make sure the coefficient of x squared is always equals to positive 1. And in this case, it is already in positive 1, this form. Then next, we can start to put a bracket square outside here. Next, x we just follow, and negative we just follow by negative. And this part is the crucial part. So make sure you need to divide it by 2. So 6 over 2, you'll get 3, right? And then after square must be always followed by negative, right? Then 3 square is 9. Then lastly, plus 4, right? So next, we can simplify the expression. You'll get negative 5, alright, at the back here. Then this is your final answer. Okay, so far so good, yeah? Next example, what happens if our coefficient of x squared is not equals to positive 1? Okay, so in this case, let's say I give you this, negative x squared plus 2x minus 5, okay? The coefficient of x squared is not equals to positive 1, right? Okay, so here we can take out the negative, then we put a bracket here, then we have x squared. And this part, right, you have to be extra careful, as we know that negative times negative, you'll get positive, right? So hence, we must put negative 2s here, okay? Next, negative times positive, you will get negative, okay? So we must put the positive 5 at the back, right? So in this case, the coefficient of x squared is equals to 1 and positive right now. So next we can start to apply the formula. We can put negative square bracket, okay, then put the bracket square, then here x minus, right, this part 2, you must divide it by 2, right? So 2 over 2 is 1. Then after square is always minus, 1 square is 1. Then last part here plus 5, alright? Next we can simplify the whole thing. Then we'll have negative 1 plus 5 actually is equal to positive 4, right? And next part, the final step here, we can cancel out the square bracket by expanding it, right? So negative x minus 1 square, and then here we'll get negative 4, right? So this will be your final answer, okay? So far so good, yeah? Next example number 4 here, right? So what if I give you this one? Let's say we have 2x squared minus 12x plus 5, right? Okay, so first step, as usual, we must make sure the coefficient of x squared must be equals to positive 1. But unfortunately, in this question, the coefficient of x squared is equals to 2, right? So we can take out 2, then we put a bracket. So then 2 times x squared, you get 2x squared, right? And then minus 2 times 6x, you'll get 12x, isn't it? Then last part here, plus, okay, 2 times what is 5 here? The answer actually is 5 over 2, yeah? So if you cancel out the 2, you'll get 5 eventually, right? Next, since the coefficient of x squared is equals to positive 1 now, right? Then we can start to apply the formula. So we'll just write 2, then put the square bracket, then we'll put the bracket square outside here, then x minus, okay, here, this part, 6 must be always divided by 2, right? So 6 over 2 will be equals to 3. Then after square will be always followed by negative, right? So 3 square is 9. Then last part, just copy the last part here, plus 5 over 2, right? That's square bracket, okay? Close square bracket, right? Next, we can simplify the whole thing, right? So this part, negative 9 plus 5 over 2, you might type this in your calculator, then actually we'll get negative 13 over 2, right? Then lastly, we can expand the bracket, okay? So we have 2 bracket x minus 3 close bracket square minus, then this part, 2 and 2 can cancel out, then we have 13 at the back. So this is our final answer, right? So last example here, example number 5. So what if I give you this negative 3x squared minus 6x plus 10, yeah? So first of all, yeah, as usual, we check the coefficient of x squared. So in this case, it is not equals to positive 1. So hence we must take out the negative 3. Then we are left x squared inside. And as we know, negative 3 times positive 2, right? You get negative 6x, right? Here it must be put x here. Then negative 3 times negative is positive, right? Then 3 times 10 over 3. When we cancel out the 3, then you get 10. Same as the question, right? So since the coefficient of x squared now is equals to positive 1, then we can start to apply the formula, right? So it's negative 3, square bracket, then we put the bracket here, then the square outside, then x plus, right? So this part, as usual, we must divide it by 2. Okay, so 2 divided by 2, you get 1, right? Then square after square must be equals to, always followed by negative. Then 1 square is 1, right? Then lastly is negative 10 over 3. Right? Then close bracket. Okay, so next we can simplify the whole thing. Negative 1 minus 10 over 3, you get negative 13 over 3. Okay? Then the next step here, the final step, we can expand the bracket. Okay, can cancel the square bracket. So we have negative 3, bracket x plus 1 square, and this part. So when we times in negative 3 times negative 13 over 3, you can cancel the 3 here. Then you'll get a positive here, because negative times negative is positive. Positive 13 as your final answer. Alright, so next part, I've prepared some practice here. Actually, as we know, practice makes perfect, right? So I've prepared some 5 questions here, right? So let's give yourself a try, and you may leave your answer in the comment below, and happy trying, all the best.
Here comes to the end of this episode. If you like this video, like it, share it among your friends, and most importantly is subscribe to our channel so that you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. I will see you on next episode. See you soon, take care, bye bye.